Who? Steve?
Shannon Foster.
Yeah, did Steve.
Okay, ladies, we are live here on Facebook. Thank you everyone for joining us. This is the Alumni Podcast, episode 17. These are the 1980s cheerleaders. And I can already tell everybody this show is going to be unlike any other. So I've got a special co-host tonight. I know her as Missy Cabot. Everyone else knows her as Melissa Charlene. Some people know her as Mr. Cabot's daughter. Missy, thank you for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me.
I've
already laughed hard. My cheeks are already warmed up from laughing so hard in 10 minutes.
Yes, it's been unbelievable. I'm going to go ahead and give the show disclaimer. This is the unofficial Alumni Podcast. No way affiliated with the school currently today. So everything we say here should not be used against the school. It's going to be lots of fun. And ladies, I'm going to get started with the first question. But before we do that, I want to go around the circle and ask everybody to introduce themselves. And we'll start with my sister, Tina. Tina, go ahead and say hello.
I'm Tina, graduated 1988, and happy to be here.
Very good. Tracy?
Hi, everyone. I'm Tracy Weston. I graduated in 1987.
And Vicki?
Hi, everyone. I'm Vicki Ewell in the past. I'm Vicki Tucker now, and I graduated in 1987.
Awesome. Awesome. Alyssa?
Alyssa Wooten, graduated in 88. Great year.
And then we have Tammy Greene.
I am Tammy Dalton now, and I graduated in 1988.
Very good. Thank you, ladies, for being with us. I'm going to start off as a host privilege by speaking with my sister. And it's sort of unbelievable because when I went to Bayshore, I thought I was big man on campus. You played basketball for Herman Valdez. You think you're a Mr. Big. And all of a sudden I'm hearing all these stories years later that I was completely unaware of. Oh, your sister was so hot. Oh, your sister was so good looking. Oh, your sister was the greatest. I got a text last night from an alumnus who said, so-and-so was with your sisters. He hooked up with the best looking girl in the school. And I'm like, Tina Rodriguez? Because she's my sister, so I'm like, guys, back off before I get mad. But anyways, we start off with Tina. Thanks for being here. And what is your first memory or story you want to share tonight on this podcast?
Well, I actually have a story about the Bloomers, if Vicki wants to hold them back up. The other Tina couldn't be here with us, but when we started going to Bayshore, Mr. Dibble actually, me and Tina were both in his office and we were getting Bloomers and talking about them, and he decided to name us Tina 1 and Tina 2.
And Tina 2.
So when we got our Bloomers done, we had Tina 1 and Tina 2 on the
Bloomers were in Dibble's office?
Well, we were talking about them in Dibble's office. And we were trying to determine who was going to be what because we had the same name and we were both cheerleaders. So that was a fun story from Mr. Dibble's involvement with our Bloomers.
That's another Bayshore
classic. Tina 1 and Tina 2 throughout all of high school, pretty much.
Sure. Yeah. Well, that's another Bayshore classic. We're going to turn it over now to Tracy. Tracy, your first great story memory from your time at BCS.
Oh my gosh, there are so many. One of the happiest times I had there was, and Tina's going to see this and she's going to hate me for this, but was when I was dating Bren. I was so elated, but we were like the thing on campus for the longest time, and it was awesome. But we got in trouble all the time because we were always hanging around with each other, and he was the basketball player and I was the cheerleader, and it was the thing all the time. But skipping class and trying to get into trouble and trying to stay with him, and he was trying to stay with me, caused a lot of problems, and those Bloomers will come back up later, I'm sure. So because we always tried to show our Bloomers when we had every opportunity, because when we had the opportunity on Fridays to wear our cheerleading outfits, that was the best day of the week because we could wear our outfits on Friday. and the girls loved it, and the basketball players loved it even more. So that was but always trying to stay out of trouble because I always was getting in trouble. So
well, we're going straight to the fun here on this episode. Alyssa, you're up next. Your most favorite story from your time at Bayshore.
Oh boy. Okay, so again, there are so many to think of. One of my favorites is when Susan Sutherland and I, like, we were doing cartwheels and we crashed into each other and we got up and went.
Just like on Saturday Night Live.
Nailed it. Nailed the landing.
Landed it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we just totally like, it was just like a big event. And we both went up like, yeah, we got it. Yeah. and then I used to do this stupid Tarzan call when the opponent
team. Can you do it again for us?
What's that?
Can you do it again for us?
No.
We would hear it from the school.
Yeah. When the opponent was doing free throws, as soon as they were getting ready, they would bounce. And as soon as they were getting ready to pop it up, I'm like, yeah. It would give me migraines. But I loved it. It was so stupid. I'm like, I don't know why it was effective. It wasn't effective. It was just stupid.
But it was fun. It was fun, and it was a great memory.
Does anybody else remember that?
Yeah, I remember.
I remember it.
What an idiot I was. Oh my God.
No.
You were fun.
Oh, I thought it was making a difference.
But you always smiled no matter what. I remember your smile, always smiling.
Oh, aren't you
sweet? I
sweet?
think I've seen you like frown or anything.
Okay, ladies, I already got an interruption on Facebook Live, and I'll go ahead and share it, and then we'll go over to Vicki for her story. John Blocker is, of course, saying my sister is still hot, and I'm gonna have to kill him. And then Melissa, Charlene is almost as pretty as me. That's what Chris Pate said.
Oh, Chris.
Tell Chris Pate to get in line.
Thank you, Mr. Pate. I thank you for the compliment.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Pate.
Just get back to t-shirts, man.
Right. Vicki, you're up next. My favorite memory with Vicki, I've already told on the first episode ever, is running Bayshore Boulevard with the team. And on the way back, we would jump in the pool. I've said it like 100 times, but we'd stop at the Colonnade restaurant, which the Whiteside family owned, and Vicki worked there, and she would give us free Coke and water on the way back. So that was what I remember cool with Vicki. Vicki, tell us about your favorite memories from Bayshore in those years back in high school.
So apparently I've heard that I was a troublemaker. So my favorite thing I remembered was playing practical joke on teachers. So I don't know if Tracy, you remember this? I can't remember the teacher, but I know it was in the elementary building. And we all decided she had to step out for a few minutes. And I just suggested, I didn't direct everybody to all leave the classroom and go hide. So every single one of us, except for one person, and I remember she was a friend of mine, her name is Lisa.
Yeah.
Everyone left and we all hid in the bathroom. Yeah. You remember that, Tracy? Yes. So all the girls hid in the girls' bathroom and all the boys hid in the boys. So she came back and couldn't find her.
Right. We were all gone. Yeah.
Who was Lisa? Who was Lisa?
I don't remember her last name, but she was very quiet, very shy. And then so what this teacher did, and I wish I remembered her name, but she sent us all to Coach Dibbles.
Oh, yeah.
So he was the dean. He was the dean. So she sent every single one of us to the dean, and he was like, what am I supposed to do with you guys? Mm-hmm. Just go back to class.
He sent us all back to class. He wasn't going to do anything because it was
the whole class. So I can always remember that because I love playing practical jokes. I mean, I just like having fun. I don't even think I really cared about anything but having fun and enjoying my cheerleading, times together.
Well, that's a recurring theme on this show as well. It seems like everyone that was sent to Coach Dibble never got disciplined with any paddle. So,
no, I did. I did. I was the first to get paddled.
I
was the first cheerleader because I got, somebody.
Wait. Weren't your bloomers in the office and now this person is paddling the girls? What?
Tina's
Oh, there goes Tarzan. Tammy Greene, jump in here and tell us about your fun times. You have a famous picture in the yearbook. Bayshore was actually allowed to dance through the early to mid to late 80s. And then, according to Melissa, it like stopped, and then they were allowed to do it again, I guess, later. But you have a famous picture at one of those homecoming dances that's everyone's favorite. Tell us about your time at Bayshore and your time cheering with the girls.
Well, you know, I was a transplant from Providence, which I know you and Tina know very well, all about Providence. And so 86 was my year at Bayshore, but I had a great time going there, just meeting new people, and especially Tina, because we became inseparable.
Very good.
But yeah, just great. It was a great year, and I met so many people and had such fun, you know, going off to the basketball game. Right. It was great.
Tammy and I remained friends. For people who don't know, we're still best friends. And even she moved to Georgia and I'm still here in Florida, but the birth of my first kid, she drove down from Georgia to be my coach in the delivery room, and we're still just as close as ever, even though we're separated. So Bayshore, definitely, it was a smaller school, and you know, some would think, oh, there was only 42 kids in your graduating class. What kind of school is that? But it allowed us to form really tight, good friendships that ended up lasting a lifetime, you know, so far.
Well, that's really very in-depth and thoughtful of you. It's completely the opposite of how you and I have interacted all these years. That's very good. No, it's good. It's good. So I'm going to circle back to my sister, then we'll go Tracy, and then Alyssa, Vicki. Tina, you gave us a memory from Bayshore. What's a memory, and Melissa, please jump in when you have a question, but and definitely with your stories, because I like the groupie stories. Tina, tell us about a game. A trip on a bus, the Final Four trip. A lot of cheerleaders talk about the trips to the Final Four. So tell us a little bit about that and what you remember.
I have very limited memories. I don't know if it's an age thing, but I can only remember bits and pieces of things that happened. But some of the things I do remember are, Tasha Thornton's not on here, but the Beastie Boys were really popular. So there was a lot of listening to the Beastie Boys on the bus trip. I remember that. I remember going to the Hunsuckers almost every game and getting ready and showering and eating and just fellowshipping with each other. And we were just like one big happy family, all of us cheerleaders. Like there wasn't the typical, fighting and discomfort that I think bigger schools maybe have with each other. I don't know how to say it, but just a really good memory of being able to go there. And it was like a second home. The Hunsuckers were like second parents, I think, to all of us.
That seems like a recurring theme also, that the Hunsuckers was like home base headquarters for cheerleaders.
Yeah, it was a real, just a safe place. You could just go, you could talk to them about anything, and they just made you feel right at home. It was definitely good times. I miss those times.
More Facebook posts to report. Tree White has checked in with a smiley face. And then Chris Bates says, Tina single-handedly brought dancing to Bayshore. Mike Blocker says it was always great to ride the bus home with the cheerleaders. So Mike Blocker
Mike.
Well, we weren't allowed to ride to the game with them.
Yeah.
So we're going to go to Tracy now. Trace, so you gave us one of your famous stories from Bayshore. Tell us a little bit of your thoughts of who was your closest friend when you cheered? What was one of the games you remember? Something related to the squad. Share that with the audience.
Oh my gosh. So the cheering was the best part of high school for me. I thoroughly enjoyed it. The girls we were like a compact knit group. We stayed together, we cheered together, we hung out all the time together. It's hard to pick just one. It's really hard to pick just one, because then I was captain for a while, and that was the best time for me. That was the group of friends that held together through several years. I think the most memorable time was one of the games. I don't even remember now what school it was, but I remember we were practicing so hard to do more stunts, higher pyramids, doing all the things that, you know, our school could do that the bigger schools could do. And then I was at the top of the pyramid because I was the smallest one, and then I got dropped. And that was the end of my cheerleading days because I broke my kneecap. So that was the end. Right. So, but you know, after even all that and having to have knee surgery and all of that, cheerleading was the best time for me. But probably the most memorable time was when I came back in my cheerleading outfit after one of our games and found out that my boyfriend slept with another girl, and I had to punch him in the face.
We are going straight to the truth here tonight, aren't we?
And I just had to punch her in the face. I had to
punch her in the face. That's what happened. Yeah.
So this was a Bayshore girl and a Bayshore guy, or was there any public school kid? Okay.
This was a Bayshore, because this was on their senior trip, and this was a Bayshore girl and my boyfriend, and I was in my cheerleading outfit, and I got suspended from school. I didn't get paddled, but I got suspended. So that's what happened.
Don't mince words tonight. Tell us what you really think.
Yeah.
We're going to switch over to Alyssa. I don't know how you're going to top that story because that was great. Alyssa, memories from your friends on the cheerleading squad, Friday night getting ready for a game, movies at Twin Bays. Tell us something with your friends from the cheerleading squad that you remember.
Oh my goodness. Well, my grandmother lived right across the street, across from the entrance to the backside of the gym, the music room.
Is your grandmother, let me interrupt real quick. Is your grandmother, there's Mrs. Wooten, I think that's your mom. She's still on the board, correct?
Oh, yeah. I was on the board for about 4 years as well.
Right. Okay. Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. Please,
yeah. No, that's okay. No, but mom's still on the board. Mom, she's fantastic. Best, you know, when God handed out women or handed out moms, he gave me the best one he had. So I just, shout out to mom. But anyway, so no, my grandmother lived right across the street from Bayshore on Bay Vista. And so as we would go up the stairs to band class or whatever, I'd be like, she'd be out working on her roses, and I'd be like, hi, grandma. And so everybody behind me would go, hi, grandma. Hi, grandma. Hi, grandma. And yeah, so she became like the popular grandma. And so we would go over there and change for games and stuff like that. And she was just happy. Oh, Rocky's talking again. Sorry. But she was like the home away from home for all of us cheerleaders. You know, we would all go over there, get changed up, get prettied up, and then we would walk over back to the gym and have games. But as far as games go, I remember the Final Four walking into the big auditorium, and there were no boundaries around the court. And it was so huge.
This is the 1987 Final Four, correct?
Yeah.
What year were you in school that year?
I graduated in 88.
Okay, so you're a junior.
Yeah. Okay. And so in any case, but I remember, Rocky. Sorry, he's a rescue boxer. He wants to be a cheerleader too. But in any case, I remember walking in and looking at the bleachers and how big the stadium was, and it was like, holy moly! And anyway, that was impressionable. I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, great. It was great.
But anyway, no. But I remember the bus rides. The guys would go to Palio's and have chicken and yellow rice or fried chicken, and we couldn't.
Palio's.
Sorry. And
the dog wants some Palio's right now.
What's that?
The dog wants some Palio's right now.
Absolutely, he does. Yeah. And he's just jealous. He's not getting any attention. And then you had to stay separated for the entire afternoon, and you couldn't ride on the bus together until after the game.
Yep. Yeah, they needed to prepare for the game, obviously.
Absolutely. Yeah, mental stuff. Anyway. Yeah.
They couldn't look at him. Don't look at us.
That's right. Vicki, you're up next. I want to make sure that Melissa gets in, because Melissa has good stories. But Vicki, you're up next. What do you remember from that time on the squad? Who was your best friend? What was the game that you remember? What were those interpersonal relationships like? What do you remember from that time?
Well, I just, I'm with them. I feel like that we were all very close together. There was really not a best friend per se, but I really enjoyed everybody's company. And I too think that was my favorite game, was the Final Four game, and just going up there, listening to the music on the bus, like Tina was saying, was really, really good memories. That I really appreciate the teamwork from the basketball team and the cheerleading team. But there was something that I was going to bring up. See, I am older now, so it was something I was thinking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that happened, and then I forgot. Might have to circle back around. Right. But no, I know what it was. I remember that I think it was Kevin Daniels and Kelvin Daniels. Remember, I was really, really good friends with Kelvin Daniels. But Kevin Daniels, I remember when he broke the backboard, he slammed it and he smashed it. Did we get disqualified for that or not?
We did. I think we did. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a huge deal. And it was just like crazy. And I remember when JoJo Santiago.
You're going back a few years, probably.
I know I'm going back, but I wanted to go back because I remember when him or John broke their ankle.
Yeah,
I think who broke it? It was JoJo.
JoJo,
yeah.
So like little things like that. I can remember like these crazy things. My husband's telling me I'm being too loud. Sorry. I'm way past my bedtime. I just want you to know.
You're using your cheerleading voice, woman.
Yeah.
What a privilege for us to have you on here. So thank you for going past your bedtime.
I gotta close my door.
Yeah, please. Tammy, famous game. Now, you were seen in several videos at the 87 State Final Four. The whole cheerleading squad goes out. But at the end of the game, everybody's hugging everybody. And Chris Pate wanted to make sure that we pointed out that you hugged him after the game. What do you remember from your time as a cheerleader, a specific game?
Where that was in Winter Park, or where was that at? I can't remember.
Lakeland.
I was trying to remember.
Lakeland.
Oh, it was in Lakeland.
Yeah.
Okay. I couldn't remember. I don't know why I was there. But didn't they used to always play the song from Europe
The
at
final
the end of the
countdown?
game? Yes, the final countdown, or maybe it was before.
Right.
Yeah, that was really, really, really fun. Just the excitement of winning, and just it was a great celebration.
Sure.
We had great times. It was a great basketball team, and they just played their hearts out. And I wish that, kids today could have that close and kindness and, that we did back then, because they do not have that today. They do not,
That's a very good point. That's exactly right.
So we really have something special that these kids don't have today, unfortunately.
I completely agree with that. You're exactly right. The interpersonal relationships today amongst teenagers, a lot of it has to do with the technology. They're on their phones.
Yeah,
like the school sports, other than Friday Night Lights, other than Friday night high school football, school sports do not have the same attention or attraction or interest from their fellow classmates that are not participating in the game itself. So you're exactly right about that. Who, Tammy, before I move back to my sister, or I'm going to go to Missy Cabot next, who was, besides my sister, was like your closest friend on the cheerleading squad during that time?
Shannon Foster.
Yeah.
Sweet girl. Of course, I love Alyssa, and she's still cute as ever.
Right.
Doll baby.
That's really good.
She does look like a little doll. Tasha. No.
Tasha Thornton.
I have great memory.
Let me jump in with some more Facebook. I got some more Facebook. Sorry to interrupt, Tammy. It's Mike Blocker is loading up the comment section. Mike Blocker says, and then we're going to go to Missy Cabot. everyone fought to get back rubs from Alyssa on the bus. And then Mike Blocker says, Tammy Greene, love you. Tammy Greene Dalton, love you. I was a poop head back in the day. I'm not sure that's changed much, but that's what he said also.
Yeah, still a poop head.
You were, Mike, but I forgive you. I love you anyway.
I totally forgot about the back rubs. Oh
yeah. Well, we're going to give you a chance to talk about it. Also, I want to share with you guys, you did equal the largest number of viewers that the 1990s Cheerleaders had at one time, which was 14. Now, there's much more viewers. They usually watch it afterwards or they watch it on YouTube. The average is about 250 full views where people watch, 250 different people watch this. So it's really good. But live, we only get like 10 or so. 90s Cheerleaders had 14. You guys got up to 14. So that's
because it's past our bedtime.
Exactly.
So
Jeopardy is usually my bedtime.
Right. So Melissa Charlene, I know her as Missy Cabot. You were telling me some stories that were really funny about pom poms and groupies.
Yeah, but first I have a question because, well, it's not even a question. It's just an aha. This is an aha moment, and I can thank you girls. Mike, I could thank him too, because he's talking about these bus rides and what a pleasure it was to ride home. And, then I'm hearing about these massages. They were giving each other massages. There were bloomers. People were getting paddled back then. I don't know what the bloomers, but this is like all coming together why we had a ride in separate vans. There was never even a possibility of rubbing anybody's back ever anywhere.
We ruined it for you. Sorry, we ruined it for you.
And it's probably why I don't really remember a lot of dancing, because they realized we're just going to have more space.
Because we were too busy shaking our things and getting all in trouble, and we stopped the dancing after we left. Sorry.
We went to camp and we learned a routine, and we had to modify it. It was like,
that's
shake.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to shake our booties too much because we were in trouble. But we tried to put it in our routines, and then we got in trouble afterwards because we put it in there.
Who were the different? So I want to go back to my sister, but I want to ask her and anybody else to jump in. Who were your sponsors? I know that Miss Pyland was in the 90s.
Later. Hunsucker.
Right, Hunsucker.
Yeah.
Did anybody have somebody different than Mrs. Hunsucker?
Yeah.
She's like the queen.
Okay.
She was awesome.
That's when I became a groupie. It was back then. It was in that era when Hunsucker.
Go back to my yearbooks.
We
had some. Terry Mitchell was a cheerleading coach.
Dina Pippin is commenting on Facebook, and she is correct because I got a picture of it. And you think some of us from back then would remember that, but Mrs. Jordan, my sister, you had Mrs. Jordan the first year when you were a sophomore.
Oh,
yeah.
And she was a cheerleading sponsor before that during the OG era. And ladies, the OG era is the 82 to 85, the first Valdez team with John Harville, John Edwards, Santiago. We call them the original gangsters. So Mrs. Jordan was the cheerleading sponsor during the OG era.
Original gangsters.
And 80 through 86. And was she still in 86, or did Miss Hunsucker take over, in 87? When did Miss Hunsucker take over? Do we know?
86.
I
can't remember when
you were there.
I know, but I don't remember.
All right. So back to
86.
That's why she doesn't remember, because she was there back then.
Right. So back to my sister, Tina. So we've talked about favorite memory, then we talked about favorite cheerleading memory. Is there a teacher that you loved, an administrator? Tell us about Friday night. Was it the Brandon Plitt? Was it with Shannon Foster at not Twin Bays? What was the other one? Britton Plaza? What was high school like for you outside of cheerleading?
Yeah. Well, Mr. Cray was probably my favorite teacher. He was, to me, the most, well.
I mean, you would think that we're related, but I guess not. Go ahead. Sorry.
Did you not like Mr. Cray?
I had Mr. Cray and Mrs. Jordan. I really had no opinion.
Yeah.
But what is funny is that I'm learning stuff about you more now at 52 years old than I knew back then. But go ahead.
Back then you were too busy telling me to shut up, mind my own business, get away. All I wanted was your love.
That is true. That is true.
That is true. You were there. So yeah, Mr. Gray was my favorite teacher. Out of all of them, he was down to earth, and he would just, you know, shoot the stuff with you. He was like one of us when we were there.
Aware of this?
More than one way, obviously.
Right. Were you aware of this rather odd relationship that he had?
Was I aware of what Tracy was saying?
Well, I mean, when you marry somebody who graduated from high school.
Oh yeah, well, I found out years later. I do think that was a little odd, but maybe that's why he was so friendly in school. I don't know. Right. He was a real friendly guy, and so he was my favorite.
One more thing with you, Tina, before I go to Tracy, and that is, I don't know if you remember, my sister, got a brand new car, and I had to work for a car. But I did have the benefit of like staying up past midnight, and she needed 37 armed guards to be able to
and going to Britton Plaza too. You probably
right, exactly.
Oh, yeah.
So, anyways, that's what I was going to share.
We were at the plant. Me at the plant, and we would cruise and drive around in front of Chuck E. Cheese
over and over and over.
Do you remember Fuddruckers?
Yeah.
Ice cream, dine and dash.
Yeah.
That was Shannon Foster. Was Stacy Foster with you guys? No, Shannon.
Yeah, Shannon.
Okay. Tracy, so we've asked about favorite memory. We've talked about what's a memory from cheerleading. Both of yours were really funny. Give us what Friday night was like at Bayshore during those years, the weekend, something outside of cheerleading during your time at Bayshore Christian.
So it was definitely hanging out, Britton Plaza, Twin Bays. It was all of that. Those were the good old days when you could go out and hang out and be safe with people. Yeah. Those were fun. When I was dating Bryn, that's what we would do on Friday nights. Life after Bryn was dating a guy who already graduated from high school, and that was even different. So then it became a whole different picture. Right. So, which is the man I'm still married to today, by the way.
Very good.
Yeah.
Right.
Very nice.
Yeah. Very good. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but those days it was super cool to hang out Twin Bays, things like that on Friday nights, and that was super cool. So with Shannon, by the way. So right. It was our clique. It was super fun. Yeah.
And you're a legacy. Didn't you have an older brother? I want to say it was John.
Oh my God, I had two older brothers that graduated from Bayshore. So John Dowdy and Michael Dowdy. So yeah.
That's really great. Those are the good old days. I remember John vividly. So Vicki, Alyssa, and then we'll go to Vicki. Alyssa, so we've got your favorite Bayshore story. We've got a cheerleading story. Give us outside of, first off, my sister had a bunch of parties that there are pictures of. I don't even remember getting invited, but be that as it may, do you remember, or give us what you remember from outside of cheerleading that was fun on Friday night?
Well, I do remember one party, and I'll leave it at that because memories are sketchy. I used to love to go to the Hunsuckers. I spent more time at the Hunsuckers than I did at my own house, and like Tina said, it was a home away from home, and they were fantastic. I still am very close with Tasha and Vivian and their whole family, and just being able to go there and camp out and just do whatever. What
would you do? MTV, dance into Michael Jackson videos?
All of the above. Pizza, and Ivan was a fantastic cook, so he would make like amazing dinners, and we would all, like cheerleaders and basketball players, we'd all be like laid out on the floor and in every room of the house. And
hold on. Which basketball players are you referring to?
Now. We're gonna keep.
We're not allowed to ask that question.
No, but I remember waking up and watching the sunrise with one of the basketball players who shall remain nameless.
Oh, okay.
I'm getting
nothing
right
happened,
now.
but it was still nice. It was still really nice. And by the way, Mike Blocker, I know you're watching. Yeah, you locked me in a bathroom, dude.
I'm getting some texts right now from
We'll find out.
players.
Don't worry.
So let's talk to Vicki. Vicki, we've covered one of your favorite memories. The Bloomers we're never going to be able to live down the Bloomers part of this episode. And then of course your memories of the cheerleading. What's a memory from at Bayshore, but outside of the activities and things like that?
Oh, good Lord.
Hold up the Bloomers.
Keep it clean, girl. Keep it clean.
Come on.
I'm trying to
hold them up.
So here's the Bloomers again. Okay, there we go. Bloomers. So
tiny fun.
I had a lot of outside friends from the Colonnade restaurant, but so I hung out with them, and Stacy Foster was my best friend. I hung out with her a lot, and I don't really remember where we went to be honest with you. But I do remember my senior year, we had an after party of graduation, and somehow we ended up at some hotel, and we were drinking jungle juice and all this alcohol, and I swear I would kill my kids to this day. And if I would ever caught them to do that, but I remember us getting kicked out of the hotel that we were in, and I have absolutely no memory of what hotel or how we got there, who set it up, how we got the alcohol. But I do know that
it's important to point out right now. It's important to point out that Christians are not perfect; they're forgiven. So,
amen.
Thank God.
Thank God is right.
But I just think about, like, I think God wanted me to go through all that I went through so I can understand my kids, like in high school here today. I mean, I'm in Wesley Chapel, so Wiregrass High School is where they went to, and I'm just saying those are the rich type of people that like have what my kids would say, the rich drugs, whatever that means. But it's just like things that they went through. I could be like, oh, okay, I understand what you're going through. I tend to have been the most talkative and the most trouble, student as far as in class. I loved to, joke around. I was the one who ended up, I tried to go in the back in the beginning of the school year, and I always ended up in the front of the
That's because you kept getting in trouble.
Was that in every class?
That's one of my memories I could share with you.
That's really good. I mean, I think it's important that we, when people watch this, a lot of people watch this, it's really surprising that the people that do watch it, we get feedback on it, and to hear us share that those experiences do help prepare us for other things later in life, and whether it's teaching our own children or talking to them about the things they're going through. So that's really good to share. Tammy, we've talked about your favorite memory. We've talked about a cheerleading memory. And now Friday night, is it Brandon Plitt? Is it Twin Bays? What was your fun time on Friday night during your Bayshore years?
It was definitely Brandon Plitt. I'm from Brandon, so that's where we hung out the most. Just like Tina said, around and around. My parents used to get so mad, wasting all the gas. You're not gonna go do that this morning. I know, that's ridiculous. Why would you do that?
Did you ever go to the power lines in Brandon, where they'd go mudding with the big trucks? Yeah.
Oh yeah, those were fun times.
That's really good.
Most of the time we just drove around, Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah.
Remember Chuck E. Cheese?
Did your cat change colors?
They're triplets.
Oh,
all right.
That's the mother of the triplet.
Oh. Is there 4?
The mother, yes. Yeah, so 4?
Wow.
Mother.
Yeah. So Missy Cabot, you're up next. Before you go, I want to jump in. Tom Freilich says, junior prom, the Unsuckers' house looked like Jonestown. So,
don't drink the Kool-Aid.
That's really funny. So Melissa, what you got for the ladies? You're up
I'm
next.
just kind of, well, I just, my brain's all over the place all the time, but I'm just thinking about this whole, like, it's funny to me because when you guys, some of you were graduating, I was in like 3rd grade and 2nd grade. And
really, you had to say that?
Well, but you should know, because you should know.
I'm old. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out.
But you were doing like, you were very close knit. You talked about how close knit you were. You were a family. There wasn't a whole lot of like catty drama and stuff. But there was still punching over between cheerleaders and these freaking basketball player boys. And I'm just thinking, like, okay, so then I grew up, and then when I was in high school as a cheerleader, it's the same thing. Like, we were close, but boy howdy, if there wasn't a couple, sometimes you had to jump a row and punch somebody because of these boys on the basketball court that just caused drama for everybody. So I just think it's interesting. I think it's interesting because we all had, like, it was a very, very different time. Like, you're talking about being able to hang out outside in public and not worry about, the stuff that we would not let, the reasons we don't feel safe doing the same types of things today, maybe. But it's still like, we still had the same types of growing up stuff that happened. And I think it's cool. But earlier, Steve kept mentioning and how we all like grew up at Bayshore, and then we did our thing, but then we all came back to those foundational, like the hope we have, all the things that even if we strayed for a time, I don't even know everybody's stories, but this is what's so cool to me about when Steve and Chris started this up, because it doesn't matter if it was back in the 80s with you all, or if it was later in the 90s when I was there, or now still, what are we? This is like so much later. We still have those, like, we all come back around, we all grew out of certain things and were protected through certain experiences. And I really believe it's because of that. Even if I don't know where you all came from, but I know we were bathed in prayer regardless of your home life. We were so saturated, and the spiritual warfare was ongoing. So I just think it's neat that those are the things that remain the same no matter how much has changed over time, or whatever. I
totally agree.
Awesome.
I think that's true.
So I was thinking about the groupie stuff. Steve was kind of joking about it, because as he and I were just briefly connecting, like over the past couple of days, and I was thinking of these things, and like the memories I have of you guys, I feel like, wow, man, like maybe they don't want to know how much stuff I remember about them, because you don't know that we were.
Let's go.
Well, no, but nothing dramatic or bad. Just like, because I was over in that elementary side or that building, and you were wearing the short skirts, and you were popular, and you had the, you guys, you were like the it on the campus for us over there, the little kids. And so like whatever you guys were going through at the time, I didn't know. All I knew was like, wow, there goes the cheerleaders, and wow, there goes, I would stay late after school a lot of the times because Dad worked there. And I don't know if you guys, I don't even know if you remember, there was like I don't know if it's still there. It was like a little office. It was a portable office.
Yeah.
That had like a porch. Yeah. And I would just stand there, and I'd be there sitting up there on the railing, and I would be reading my book because I was a nerd, and I'd be watching all of you like practicing, and you were just out there, and you were, now I feel like maybe I was kind of like stalking you in a way, but I remember the curly hair, and I remember your braces, and I remember when you guys like would line up and do your pictures outside on the playground that's no longer there. And it was just such a neat, I guess, because we just never know the power that we have, and the responsibility of that example we don't appreciate or comprehend when we are younger. But it was just really, it's powerful, because I haven't seen any of you, I don't think, in like a really, really, really long time. But I was there, and I was just always in awe of you, and just always like, wow, it's kind of funny to think that, because I thought of you guys that way, And then as I grew up and I became a cheerleader, I didn't think of myself that way in that position. But this whole coming back together and the reunion stuff has been like, it makes me think about like even those kids that are there today on the campus, they don't know, but they're going to be able to hear our stories and see this type of celebration of our roots. And we don't know where this is going to go. There's going to be more than 200 viewers at some point of certain videos, but just generation after generation, that's learning from those kids. And you were the role models, and I didn't know what you did when you weren't at school. So for all I knew, you were just like, you just had it all together, and you were just it. I don't know. I was definitely your group.
You were so deceived.
But those are really great words, and it sort of speaks to all these podcast episodes. We say it often. Chris and I just did it because we wanted to say the top 10 Bayshore basketball teams of all time, and it all of a sudden just took off for people wanting us to do more. And there's so many people in the Tampa Bay community that are now watching them and letting Melanie Humaniski, who's now the principal there, Melanie Valdez, letting her know that they're watching it. And so that's really, really amazing. Bayshore, and I say this all the time, mattered. Like, you ladies mattered. The impact of Bayshore Christian back then, echoing through today, mattered to a lot of people in that city. So it's really neat to have a chance to circle back and talk about it. And that was really great words that you just shared, Melissa. So we're going to go now back around the circle and wrap up. This is your chance to wrap things together. Is anybody you want to thank? Any teacher you want to remember? It doesn't have to be serious. Most of the episodes Chris and I are not serious, so it can be funny. But tell us your final thoughts. We got a great night of cheerleaders, fun, memories, 80s Bayshore. There's no substitute. So now sort of like give your last words, and we'll go back to my sister to get started.
Did you say you're starting with me?
Yeah, you.
Okay. I was the last. I didn't want to be first on everything.
Oh, sorry.
Well, I would like to thank you and Chris, because I think that this has been a really fun, enjoyable experience, reconnecting with people and watching the videos, learning stuff, like I said, about the school that, I didn't know, and kids I didn't know, and just seeing their stories. And I'm just really happy to be here, and I'm enjoying the site, and that's about it. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, sis. And Tracy?
Awesome. Yeah, I super appreciate the opportunity to be here. This was a great time. For me, I think, Missy, I think you really nailed it. I think none of us really knew at the time what place we held. I remember, now that you say that, I remember some of the younger kids as we practiced, out in that area, that grassy area, and we would do our stunts and we do our cheerleading. Some of the younger kids would come and watch, especially some of the younger girls. And now that you said that, it brought that back to my memory. And we were the examples, and we were the ones who set the stage for the next generation to come. And no matter how much to that example we were doing it, we were there. And when we were come out every Friday in that uniform, we were always reminded, whether it was Miss Jordan or whoever we were reminded from, is we had to set that example every time we wore that uniform. Whether it was at school or at another school, we represented, and we had to represent well, no matter who we were talking to or where we were at. And I think the girls can remember, we were coached on that a lot, and we had to make sure we remembered that. But probably my favorite teacher was Miss Lancaster. In high school, I had some pretty hard days of learning how to be a grown-up and an adult in so many ways. So Miss Lancaster spent a lot of time with me after school, walking me through, and I really thank her for all that time, and she was a godsend to me. So she was probably my favorite teacher. So thanks so much for allowing me to be here.
That's really great, and thank you for sharing that. And Miss Lancaster, she was a great teacher. I never had her. Her husband was the person who did the artwork for the Bayshore logo. And the Bayshore logo, like it's like an original Israeli warrior. It has all of the detail right down to back in those Bible times. So that family meant a lot to Bayshore, and obviously we can see Mrs. Lancaster had a huge impact on some of you guys and Tracy, and so that's really neat. Alyssa, closing thoughts, a favorite teacher, favorite group of friends, another funny memory. What do you got?
Well, how can I narrow it down? So Larry Brooks grabbed a bubblegum bubble out of my mouth as I was walking to class. And he went, whoop, just ripped it out of my mouth. And then I ended up singing on the praise team at Bayshore, and he was the music director for a while. And so I know, right? And he had a clear plastic belt. That I can't forget the clear plastic belt.
Oh yeah.
But yeah. So, but Mrs. Shook.
Oh yeah.
Miss Jordan. Oh, Mrs. Shook, the math teacher.
Yep.
I remember.
Good God Almighty! I actually connected with her later in life. Well, it's been many years, but I connected with her, and but Miss Jordan, Miss Way. Yeah. I'm like, I learned so much about geography and stuff like that. And of course, married to a soldier, I lived the world, and I remembered a lot of what she shared. The Hunsuckers are probably my most favorite family in the entire world. And Tasha and I have been friends since 3rd grade. I can't be thankful enough for the family's friendship. And of course, and Mike Blocker, I know you're watching. Yes. Mikey. Yeah. Mike is one of my besties as well. I love him. Of course, I want to beat him to a pulp sometimes, but yeah. So my friend Jackie Chan is here to help me. So in any case, but Mike and I have been friends for many, many years. I am very grateful for the foundation that Bayshore gave me. I forgot what I was going to say earlier. Oh, dogs, come on, man. Really, they really want to talk.
Oh,
that's Rocky. Rocky is a talker. What? Anyway, so
they're saying, "Mom, I'm hungry."
I know they just being silly. I want a podcast, dude. So in any case, but I'm thankful for all the experiences that I had at Bayshore, and all the friends that I made, and the fact that we're here now. I mean, I'm so happy that we're here now. Let's not say
the year, please.
Yeah, don't say the year. Don't say the year.
Just yesterday. Anyway, but I'm thankful for everyone tonight, and it was a joy to participate, and I'm just grateful. Nice to see old friends, beautiful ladies, and then Steve.
Thank you. Hey, that was really nice and sweet. I know that everybody loved to hear that. I got some more Facebook before we moved to Vicki. Kyle Frisco is checked in. Great memories with Chad Wooten at the Wooten house. So that's really good. Tom Fralick's got more stuff. It looks like he wants Tammy Greene to belt out a White Snake song.
Bubba.
Let's go to Vicki. Vicki, closing thoughts. Somebody you remember, it could still be something funny. What's your closing thoughts about your time at Bayshore?
So I started when I was in 3rd grade. So I had a lot of great memories, a lot of great teachers, Mrs. Erickson and Lancaster. Jordan, she put up with me. A lot of, I always ended up in the front of her class. That's all I remember. I used to fall asleep in Bible class. I don't know how I made A's, but I did.
That's why you ended up at the front.
I did. But I fell asleep in front of her too, and I still made A's in that class. I won't discuss the reason why, but anyhow, so my thing was I almost got expelled at Bayshore because I had thought I was funny doing something. And
no, that would have never happened.
It was in, and it was the funny part about it. It was in chapel one day. They caught me doing something, and instead of expelling me, they sent me to that Jesus conference thing.
Were you up in the balcony? Were you in the balcony with somebody's boyfriend?
No,
upstairs during chapel?
The teachers were watching me. The teachers were watching me downstairs, and I didn't realize that they were watching me, or I probably wouldn't have done it. I won't discuss what I did. So
that's part. Tell us what happened.
No.
Draw the line somewhere.
I'm just trying. Yeah. So I just really feel like I know that I had received a really good foundation from all my teachers, the people around me, apparently Beth Minnick used to follow me because she thought I was the funniest thing to get in trouble all the time. I just think that if I did not go there, I'm not sure where I would be at today, but I do realize that, Mr. Valdez, his love for the people was amazing, and all the cheerleading coaches. But I just have to share this one thing that I think is kind of funny, because I told my husband, I'm like, he wants us to remember names, and I've got to get out my yearbooks. I mean, like, I even went up to the attic to try and find my yearbook. So I don't know if this person will ever see this, but I have to give a shout out to this guy who has beautiful handwriting, and his name is I opened up my book, and it was from 1986.
You're about to tell us what they actually wrote in.
Yeah, because listen to this. I don't even know what he's talking about, so I want to make sure that I understand. His name is Weston Dunn, and he was a JJV basketball.
Done.
So he wrote, "Dear Vicki, it was fun," and he has beautiful handwriting. I swear, I can't believe the guy. It was fun knowing you this year. I hope me and you get to go to Vermont and fulfill our fantasies. It's better. Come back next year, because we need pretty young, exciting ladies at BCS. Love, Justin. His number is 855-1478.
Oh my God.
Let's call him.
He's kind of cute though.
Look at him.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so I was looking through my yearbooks, and I just feel like just looking at all these comments and the stuff that people wrote, I was just like, how amazing.
Girl, you should call him. Call him.
Vicki, I'm friends with him on
He's
Facebook.
married.
How are you? I have no clue what fantasy we're talking about, but I do want to give a shout out to Mike Blocker. Him and Coach Dibble one time came to my apartment after high school and showed up at my door. I guess Coach Dibble lived in my same apartment complex. I was at the pool.
On Dale Mabry or on West Shore?
West Shore.
West Shore, yeah.
Yeah, and that's the last time I saw Mike Blocker. But anyways, yeah, there's a lot of great memories, and I'm glad to be alive today, because the memories that I have are crazy. So I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah,
God has blessed me.
That's so true. We joke about the fact that all of us, it stretches the imagination that any of us are still alive, to be honest with you. So,
well, I really I literally was living in my car for a week after high school. And I remember Stacy Foster was like, "Why didn't you call me and tell me?" I'm like, what am I going to, I don't know. But I mean, it was just that crazy of a life right after high school. So I do appreciate the foundation that I did receive from what school we go? Bayshore. But it's been great, and it's good seeing everybody, and I appreciate you bringing us all on together. And sorry Chris Pate wasn't there, wasn't here, but
I mean, it's been our honor and privilege for you guys to be on tonight. We're getting ready to go to Tammy, so that was really great words to share, and we really appreciate it, Vicki. And we know we miss Chris tonight. Chris is doing a lot of business in Tampa, so we're missing him, and Missy has filled his shoes very well. And Tammy, your time at Bayshore, got a great memory, got a great cheerleading memory. Is there anybody you want to thank, you want to remember? You don't have to thank him. You can be mad at him to say, I remember that guy. So Tell us your final
no, thank you, Steve and Chris. I think you all have done a great job creating this platform to, reunite everybody from so many years ago. And we've all been through a bunch, and we've all overcome, and we've all succeeded, and we have to keep the tradition alive. And I think you and Chris are doing a great job of doing that. So thank you. And it was so good seeing y'all. Bayshore really was. If there is anyone who got in more trouble, it was probably yours truly back in the day. So just saying, if I can do something, anybody can do something. So it was.
I want
I did love it. It was great at Bayshore. It really is in my heart. Great memories and friendships that have lasted so long. So thank you.
That's really nice, and thank you for being on here, Melissa.
Hey,
yeah.
Just a shout out to the Strickland family. They lost Danny this past year.
Yeah. Danny Strickland was a class of '86. He was a good friend of mine, so we graduated together. We played basketball together at Bayshore, and he went to be with the Lord this year. So very sad, but also
pancreatic cancer.
Yeah, that's right. But he's in a better place.
Oh yeah,
we'll see him soon. So
absolutely,
that's exactly right with Danny.
So just a shout out to them, and Danny was my first love. I was 15. we were Miss Jordan called us her rice cakes. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, what does that mean? So, okay, crunchy rice cakes. I don't know. So, but anyway, no, I spent some time with the Stricklands not too long ago, and they're doing well. But in any case, just in love and memory of our Bayshore friends that have not made it.
Yeah, and
there's gone to be with Jesus.
Yeah, there's several besides Danny, and we certainly, love the Strickland family, and we miss everyone, and certainly pray for the comfort for all of those families.
Thank you for letting me say. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no, please, yeah, thank you. So Melissa, your final thoughts. You're the groupie to all these cheerleaders. Before you became a cheerleader.
We probably have to have we'll have to do it again in another way, but we didn't talk about the hallway. There are a few things that I failed to see.
Wait. Tracy's up there smiling in her square.
Oh, the hallway was, if it could talk.
See, okay, it wasn't just our, some things were the same, right? They're still the same. I bet they're still the same. They're probably going to put security cameras back there now after all these podcasts.
Oh, Miss Valdez, please don't put them back, because your students need time in the hallway. So we don't have to back. Just saying, we were late to class because of the hallway.
Something else too that we could save. I'm sure we could do a whole different day. I grew up there as Pastor Rick's daughter, or really Pastor Rick's daughter, because he was Mr. Cabot, but I was a baby then when he was a Bible teacher, and then he was an associate or a Christian education director for the church, and then associate pastor. And then my grandmother started working there as a secretary, which is an extra treat by that time in life. But at that point in life, I was Pastor Rick's daughter. And so I was thinking of Alyssa. Is Alicia or Alyssa? How do we pronounce it? Alyssa. So Chad was more, I remember Chad more because he was closer to when I was in, when I was closer to remember and appreciate, junior high and high school was Chad's era. But Jeff was even before you, right?
Yep. I'm the oldest, and then there was Jeff and Chad. Because
I remember of Jeff. I wasn't friends with him because I was little, but what was it like for you were you Jeff Wooten's sister, or were you just Alyssa in your own right?
Oh no. So it was what teachers in Bayshore could get all three Wooten children into their classrooms and check them off. Check out.
Oh my gosh.
Check out. Yeah.
That's funny.
No, I'm quite certain that Alyssa was her own thing when she was there. I know that for a fact. Tracy, you wanted to say something.
No, well, that was the way it was for me. I was John or Michael Dowdy's sister.
Right.
Yep.
That's how the teachers, oh, that's John Dowdy's sister. That's Michael Dowdy's sister. And I was like, no, this is Tracy. Hello, this is me. But it was always the sister. So I completely hear you. Yeah.
I have a funny story about identity, actually.
Yeah. I mean,
what?
Please share.
Okay. So I went out for my bachelorette party before I got married. And the girls, they were military wives that they're like, hey, you're joining the military. Anyway, so they took me out. We found some place local. And so some guy came up and started dancing. He turned around, he goes, hey, aren't you Woo's sister? I'm like, out.
Right.
Gotta go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Mike Blocker used to call me Chad. When I didn't come in with makeup on or anything like that, he used to call me, hey, Chad.
Mike Blocker. I got another Facebook. By the way, Tina, were you ever Steve's little sister? No?
I don't think so.
No, I know. Totally unfair.
No, you were Tina's brother.
That's exactly right.
Exactly.
Apparently that was the case. You know? Anyways, I got Joey Ruggieri on here. Joey Ruggieri says, you guys are doing all a great job. Glad to see everybody happy and healthy. Special shout out to the angel top in the top. You are killing it. So that was very nice of Joey.
That would be you, Miss Tina.
Right. So yeah, listen, ladies, I can't thank you enough for being on here. Thank you, Melissa, for being my co-host.
I was going to say, Steve, because you and Chris, you always do such a great job of thanking everybody. But, this is just one time I just sat in a chair. And even just from working today and going straight to my daughter's basketball game. And then I was thinking of you guys, like, you've been doing this so faithfully for so long already. Yeah. I only have my kids 50% of the time. I think you have, and you don't just only have 2. I think you have 3, right, Steve?
No, just 2.
Okay. But still, you have them 100% of the time. And yes, of course, it's nice for you to thank us, but it's been such a gift, a true gift, I really believe, for anybody that's had the privilege of even catching a little bit here and there. So I will speak on behalf of many that I have shared with me personally, even Messenger, or we see each other, thank you for investing so much. And to Chris, even though he's not here, Chris, because it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And I don't take it lightly. So thank you guys.
That's really nice. Thank you very much. And we're glad to do it. This has been a great time. So I really appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys. We're going to sign off. If you want to wave into the screen, and we're going to wrap up for tonight. Again, thank you very much, ladies. We really, really appreciate it. It was a great time. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Everybody take care.
Bye, everybody.